the most powerful moves is the cold deck switch. This can be performed either during the cheat's deal or while he's cutting the cards. The deck is exchanged for a completely other deck in which the cards are stacked to ensure that the cheat wins a monster pot. This is a cold deck switch. Are these mine to cut? Alright, go ahead and deal. This is the explanation to the cold deck switch. I'm going to use a blue deck and a red deck so you can see the exact second that the switch takes place. I'm going to palm the blue deck in this position right here against my thumb and against my pinky like this. Once again, the fingers are curled to make the hands look natural. Take the deck like this, and this is when misdirection would occur as I'm doing this cut. Bring these cards over, and I make it look like I grip some of these cards and actually cut some over. I'm placing the entire blue deck, or the entire cold deck at this point on the table. Then I'm grabbing this deck in the exact same position as I'm going to palm it and pretend to place it on top, when in actuality I retain that entire deck in my hand. Then this hand immediately goes over here to the table edge, and then I slide the cards over and say go ahead and deal. Here's what the cold deck switch looks like up to speed with a different color deck. This is a cold deck switch that can be seen in the movie The Sting. Go ahead and deal. This is the explanation for the Sting cold deck switch. It utilizes a very unusual palm, and it looks exactly like this. I'm clipping the card in between my thumbs and the very base of my index finger. At the table edge, all you can see is my fingers spread out. It gives the illusion of a very open, fair hand. I'm going to come in and place the red deck right on top of the blue deck with my thumbs in between them. Then with my right hand, I'm going to grab the blue deck with the thumb behind and the middle and ring finger in front. I'm going to swing these cards around and pretend to place them back on top. Instead of doing that, I'm actually going to insert my left thumb and my right thumb into the break between the packets, and bring that right back to the table edge. At this point you can lap, as I did in my demonstration, and all that is dropping the cards into my lap, and then push the deck over and say go ahead and deal. This is the bold and cold deck switch. Go ahead and cut those. This is the explanation for the bold and cold deck switch. During this deck switch, you need to reach under your chair to grab the extra deck. So you grab the extra deck and hold it just in this position. The red deck is going to be shuffled overhand. You'll notice that you can still palm the blue deck while apparently shuffling the red deck. Well, actually you are shuffling the red deck. Once you're done with the shuffle, you're going to come over and palm the red deck right away. This is already palmed. I could take this off right now. Instead of doing that, I'm going to bring the cards back and apparently square the deck. At that point, I place this hand on the table with the palm deck and slide over the blue deck and say go ahead and cut those. So up to speed with the colored decks, this is what it looks like. So I'm shuffling, I go under my chair, grab this deck, shuffle overhand fashion like this, square it up, say go ahead and cut those for me. Be aware that the techniques I've shown you may not be the exact methods used by someone to cheat you. Now that you're educated, you can be sure that your money and your game are much safer. I'm Jeff Westmiller. Be safe, be smart, and don't cheat at cards.